let's say hello to you, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That is Dan. Welcome to the studio.
Oh.
For the first time ever, a human being who is an Indonesian rapper, prolific artist. Really, your first single, Dat Stick, back in 2016, really changed your life forever.
Yeah.
But you're back with a brand new album. First time in 5 years?
6
years.
years.
6 years.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Sorry.
Welcome to the studio for the first time ever. The one and only Rich Brian. Everybody.
Hey.
Thank you for having me.
Are you kidding?
Thank you so much.
It's amazing to have you here.
Thank you.
But 2019 was genuinely the last time you released an album.
Yeah. I put out stuff after that. I put out singles. I put out EPs. Put out this thing, this EP called 1999, but on Spotify they call it an album. So people get confused, but I don't see that as an album. It only has like 7 songs, and it wasn't like conceptual in any way. But yeah, so this is my third one.
So how do you define an album? Because people do have different, definitions for it.
For sure. I think duration is a thing. It was only 7 tracks. It was probably like 30 minutes long. And some albums can be that short, but I think it was just my approach going into it. It was a lot more like, I'm just having fun. I'm just like making stuff that sounds fun and putting it together as a compilation more so than anything.
So where's, pardon the pun.
Where's my head?
Yeah, so where is your head at when you start making this thing or actually having a desire to make it?
Yeah, it was, well, it was, people ask me why, it took me so long or why it took so long away from making albums. I think it's never intentional. It's never like the ideal situation for an artist to take a 6-year break. And it was just because, life got crazy. It was like, as for a lot of other people in the pandemic, I went through a lot of stuff that was just like kind of forced me to like really mature quickly and just like got into like a long relationship, and it was just like it was too much. It was too much for me to like be able to really focus on my craft properly. But after a certain point, because I'm always looking at the comments. Everyone's like, where's the album? Where's the new music? Like, where is this guy going? Like, where is he? And it was like, at the time, it was my biggest fear to be away for that long and, fall off. That's like what people love to say. But at that point, I was also just like, you know what? I'm already here. It's already been long enough. Let me just take a little more time on this and just like really get deep into production and like the songwriting and just make sure it's like worth it and it's good. So I just took a couple more years and then here we are.
All right. I want to talk about what distracts you initially, right? Because like, is it losing a relationship, falling out of love? What is it?
Oh man.
Because there is those storylines kind of woven throughout this body of work.
Yeah, it was a lot of things. It's a lot of things. And it's okay. It's a combination of like, I got into a long relationship where I was living with this girl, and we were dating for 3 years. Wish her the best. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it was like I've never lived with someone before, and that was like a lot of pressure for me. And it was really tough for me to like leave the relationship because I low-key wanted to get out of it for a while, and it took me a while to like to be like, all right, this is over. I didn't know how to do that, so I just it's hard. So I just kind of stayed with her, and it was eating me up inside. And people around me, I think they knew that I was like unhappy. But that was also the time where I was making, I was starting to make music for this album. But before that, before I even got into this relationship, it was also just like a rocky year for me in 2020. It was like just mentally going through a lot of stuff. I was away from my family for like 3 years. It was for like some visa reason. I couldn't like leave the States, or else there would be a risk of me not coming back for a while because it was the pandemic and it was just hard to get my visa renewed. But yeah, I think it was just like relationships and mental stuff. And but I'm back. I'm back now.
Welcome.
Thank you. And I don't plan to leave for that long anymore.
When you talk about like pressure living with another human being,
Yeah.
is there a point where you get comfortable, or is it always pressure? And like, I do genuinely relate to what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, the pressure was more just from just me being like, I know I want to break up with this person, but if I do break up with this person, where is she gonna, like, I don't know where she's gonna live, or like I don't want that like awkward stage of like we break up and then we live together for another 2 weeks as she tries to figure out like a new living situation, and it's just awkward for 2 weeks.
So you just push it off.
Push it off. But I was just like, it was getting to a point where I would just stay up till like, I'll be like sleeping next to her. Oh my God. I'll be sleeping next to her and I would like not be able to go to sleep because I'm just thinking about like, how do I do this? How do I get out of this? I'd stay up till like 8 a.m. And yeah, she'd wake up in the morning and she wouldn't know that I did not sleep at all.
Your eyes are just wide open, staring at the ceiling.
Yeah. So it was a chill relationship. It was a nice, chill relationship.
So when into the 3 years do you start feeling this way?
About like the first year.
Damn, Brian.
It took me a while. Okay, I'm a people pleaser. It seems, but after this relationship, 3 months after this relationship ended, I met this other girl, or woman, I should say. She was 4 years older than me, and I wanted to be single for a long time after that 3-year relationship. I told myself, as soon as I get out, because I've been thinking about it for a while.
2 years.
Yeah. We had a cat together. I was like, as soon as I get out of this, I'm going to be out for a minute. I'm going to be single for a long time and just focus on my career. And then 3 months later, I meet this person and just fell in love with her, you know? And I was like, it felt like, I knew it was too soon. But it also felt like a disrespect to God if I didn't give it a shot, if I didn't give it a try. So I did. And we were together for about 8 months. And for this one day I just had that thought of like, maybe I should break up with her. I should be single. And I only waited 7 days. And this was the first time where I actually initiated the breakup. So,
but you need to have these experiences, even though it was prolonged by 2 years.
Yeah.
To be able to exist in this world and learn.
Yeah.
Like you gotta like.
Yeah.
Come on, you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. I am pretty proud. I want to be. I wish I could tell my therapist that, but he like retired, which is annoying.
You pushed this guy to retirement, eh?
No, it was the same therapist that I've had since like 2018, and then I hadn't talked to him for like a year or two, and I started talking to him like kind of around the breakup time, and in one of the sessions he was like, "Oh yeah, did I tell you that I'm retiring soon?" I was like, "No, you did not tell me that," and so now I just don't go to therapy because I don't want to start a whole new thing with a whole new person.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Feels like another relationship.
Yeah,
I don't need that. So anyway, yeah.
Okay. One of the lyrics, by the way, in She,
Mm.
You can never fuck my girl, because if you did, she wasn't mine. Did she really see my soul?
Yeah.
Or dollar signs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did she cheat on you?
But I'm an anxious person. I have an anxious attachment tendency, it seems. And I only learned that from this last relationship that I was in, because the reason why I was very attracted to her was because she was the complete opposite of my 3-year ex. Because she was just like, she had her own thing going on. She was a stand-up comedian, and she had a very full social life. She was older than me, but yeah, sometimes she was like busier than me, and I was not used to that. And I was like, that's very attractive. But then as we got deeper into the relationship, I realized that I'm like, oh, I'm feeling things. I'm feeling like insecure about certain things, or like anxious, because there's a lot of men in her life who are just always hitting on her and stuff like that, and she's always out. She's always out doing stuff, and I wasn't used to that. So I think it was just like in my brain a lot, that concept of like, I was never scared she was gonna cheat on me, but I was always scared that she was gonna like fall in love with someone else, or like flirt with someone else. or like, because yeah, don't like how that feels.
Any part of you surprised that that's the way you would react to that situation?
Um,
Because you really don't know until you're in it.
yeah, yeah. I was surprised. Because it was like it really was getting to me. I was like losing sleep over certain situations, certain like things that happened that
Another
just like kept playing in my head.
But really not
Yeah.
true.
No, some of it were true. Well, I'm not talking about like imaginary scenarios. I'm talking about like actual
Yeah, real life.
real life things that happened where like a guy would be like hitting on her in front of me, and it would just like, or she would just like laugh at his joke a little too hard, and I would just think about it. In the moment, I'm always just kind of like, it feels like a little sting, but in the moment, I'm like, I think I'm fine. I don't think that really affected me that much, and I don't know how much it affects me until I go home, and I try to go to bed, and I can't. Yeah.
So does music play any part in this process of at least relieving that anxiety or, hitting pause on what's replaying in your brain?
For sure. I think there must be like 2 or 3 songs I made about her on this project and about just how I felt in that relationship.
See, like, this is what's interesting here. It's like you needed to live all this life to get the album that we have today.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And I'm so, it's, again, like I said, it's a challenge, and it's not ideal to take a 6-year break, but it was, every time I think about it, it's just like, I cannot, I wouldn't have it any other way. I needed that time to figure out what my sound is going to be like and what the album's going to be about, and just like, yeah, to have that life experience to write about, but also just like, even on a, technical like production, sharpening my craft standpoint, I like really, that time was needed to get here.
You are genuinely self-taught, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're so unique.
Thank you.
If you go back to your beginnings, like family Christian rock group,
Yeah.
homeschooled since the very beginning,
Yeah.
and very much self-taught courtesy of the internet.
Right. Yeah. And still learning new things on the internet to this day.
Are there any elements of what you do today that you still pull from your time being in a family Christian rock band?
100%. I think a lot of things are, inspired by like a lot of things that I was into in my childhood, either whether it be musically or just artistically, or even certain emotions and feelings that I felt as a kid. I feel like I tapped into that on this album the most by far compared to any of my other albums. And I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of old music that really inspired me, that I listened to at that time when I was like in the family band. Like my dad, taught me how to play the drums when I was 3. He like showed me Phil Collins and like Dream Theater. Love those guys.
That'll change your life.
Yeah, exactly. It changed my life. And what else? Like old Indonesian music, all of that. It really inspired me. And I think like this album is where I was really just like every little like niche thing that I was into as a kid, I was like wearing it very proudly on this one.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, how can I have all my research on you, but like, how old are you?
I am 25.
Yeah, like this is like I also do like a couple things.
Yeah.
Like intense experiences, like canon events,
Mm-hmm.
like what you went through,
Yeah.
like more than once, like things that like will shape you and you'll learn in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
They do kind of push you to like look back and go deep, like nostalgically, and like
Yeah.
lean on things that are of deep familiarity.
You're right.
Interesting time in your life to create this album.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Also, it's like 25. I got my frontal lobe now developed, or maybe not yet, on the way.
You're
Coming
almost
soon.
there.
Almost there.
Why did you want to produce this album yourself? Because if you look at the production credits on the Sailor, there's a lot of names on there.
Yeah, so I love those guys. I wanted to work with those guys again. But I also had this like, fear that I just didn't want to make an album that sounded too similar, because they do have like a very distinct production style, and I love working with those guys because we just had such good chemistry. And it's funny because I wanted to, I wanted to end up like having a more hands-on approach and just have it be my production, but still having the quality and all the textures that those guys brought, because they were using a lot of real instruments and analog synths and stuff like that. So that's what I ended up getting deep into on this one, because I wanted a combination of that quality, but still my production touch. And I had a few sessions where I was like looking for new producers to work with. And it was funny because, how that session would work is like we would brief them on kind of like, this is what I have made so far for the album. I played them a few songs. So this is the direction that I'm kind of heading towards. And it would be a whole day of just like different rooms in the studio with different producers. And I'm always just kind of like going into every room, kind of trying to do like little mini sessions with them to try to see how we vibe. And what it made me realize was like, damn, I feel like even though these guys are all like really talented producers and have made really big songs, it doesn't always mean that they can make what I want to make. And I think that process made me realize that I have more of a specific vision than I thought I did. And it only made me like trust my vision more, if that makes sense. So after that, I would just like, I kind of want to just like make stuff at home on my own time. And so that's what I ended up doing. And some songs I would make and I would hit a wall and just like not know where else to go. And then I would bring it to my producer friends. And there were a few that helped on this album as well. Andres Rebellon, Johnny May on the strings, and Pedro Martin, incredible guitar player. But yeah, those guys are like my main guys on this one.
The reality here is like, this is by far, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, like the most personal music you've ever made.
Ever.
And it's also way different sonically.
Right.
I mean, the strings on Little Ray of Light are fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Like I feel like that is only something that you could do on your own to a certain degree, but then like, obviously you need people to help carry it across the finish line, but like the lyrics are personal, but like also the desire for strings. Like, are you writing most of this on piano, on guitar? Are you using instruments?
Yeah. So Little Ray of Light, that was interesting because I actually wrote that. I came up with that chord originally on keyboards. It was this very like 80s sounding electric keyboard. And I feel like the melody and the chords kind of had like a very old retro feeling. And what I would do a lot is I would come up with chords on the piano and I produce on FL Studio, and you could see the piano roll.
Fruity Loops?
On Fruity Loops, yeah. Yeah. I would use all these synths and analog stuff, but I would still just be recording it through Fruity Loops because that's just what I'm used to.
So you know.
Yeah, that's what I know.
That's like that's probably the first recording software I ever downloaded on my computer.
Sick. Yeah, it's great. Especially for hip hop. But I would come up with the chords, so I would see it on the piano roll. I would see the MIDI notes, and then I'm like, okay, I want to know what this sounds like on guitar. So I would just like see those notes, and I would just like try to replay the chords on the guitar. And because I don't play guitar very well, I would most of these songs that have guitars on it, the way I would record it is just like, I would look at the notes and just kind of like try to record it one by one and layer them and then punch them in together. Or just like not one by one, but just like as many as I could do on my finger and then layer them.
In that one position.
In that one position, yeah. So that's how Little Ray of Light happened. And then I knew I wanted like an epic outro. And me and Andres sat together, and then we came up with like a chord progression together, and then Johnny May came in. One man did those strings. A lot of layering.
Sunshine, sunburns, No I Can't Unlearn, The Smile You Lost, When It's Over. What happened there?
Well, I wrote that when I was in that long relationship, that 3-year one.
In the middle of it, like pre-breakup?
Pre-breakup, in the middle of it. I think actually I wrote the hook while I was in the relationship, and then I think I wrote the verse after we ended it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you kind of get both perspectives. It was funny because I remember showing her the song like while we were still dating, and I don't think she caught the lyrics fully because it was like all about just me being like, I can't be here for that long.
I gotta get
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, you said
soon.
sometimes you cause me some pain. Sometimes I lie to your face.
Yeah. that was after. She didn't hear that part.
Okay.
Yeah. She didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that's pretty blunt.
Yeah. Nikki told me that she wants me to she wants to hear me just like write a really brutal song about a girl where I'm just like fucking just the most honest as possible. And I think like since she told me that, I would try to do that with every song I make about a girl.
It's pretty honest.
Yeah.
People like nuance. There's genius in details, and people love a personal like. People go like, oh, a hit needs to be general, but the reality is like no, like a hit like
specificity or
being specific is what really
Yeah.
resonates.
For sure, because
people have their own version of whatever that thing is.
Exactly. You gotta let people into your world. You can't like go out and try to reach everyone by being general.
Jumpy.
Yeah.
There's a collaboration, 2 collaborations. No, Ski Mask, the Slump Gods. There's one.
Yeah. It's Ski Mask and the Slump God. No.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
God, am I having a stroke? No.
Yeah.
How does that come to be?
It was I made that beat so it has that long intro in the beginning, but I made the part that comes after first, the big beat drop. I was just really inspired by like Indonesian music and like there's this genre, the specific genre of Indonesian music called I believe keroncong, and like dangdut, which is kind of like dangdut is a very interesting genre because a lot of people in Indonesia still they're kind of classist about it. They're kind of like, this song is like, this genre is tacky. This is like cool people don't listen to this genre. But I think it's like really, there's something really addicting about it and about the rhythm. And I kind of try to like recreate that rhythm on this beat. And and then I rapped on it and I was like, this is really catchy. And I feel like it needs like a long intro in the beginning so that when it comes in, it's like real unexpected. But I wanted a feature. I had this really specific idea for how the feature verse would come in. And I was like, Ski Mask is perfect for this. So I just sent him the song and he was really down. He was like so nice. He was so like collaborative. I told him, I was like, can you come in with like a triplet flow? And he was like, okay, cool. Do you want me to like say your lyrics or should I like say my own thing? And I was like, you could say your own thing. And then he sent me this video of him like in the studio playing the verse. And I was like, this is honestly, no bullshit, one of my favorite Ski Mask verses. I think he like really, he went in, he killed it on this one.
Can you explain how you do a verse? Do you just mumble it? Do you write it down?
Yeah. I like to, I do like to let the beat play and then go on my voice note and then mumble it because I feel like that's kind of where the magic happens, when you don't know what's going to come and then you need to have that first moment recorded, I feel like, because you can't recreate it, And and when I'm mumbling, I like to, I'm not the best freestyler, but I like to put in as many words as I can during those mumble sessions. And I remember, like the first thing I say on the song was like, put him in pain. And I think I actually said that in the mumble sessions. I was like, oh, that sounds good. And
why do you try to put as many words in there? And like, do you strip words back? Like, would you change words?
I try to put as many words in there as possible because it's also fun to not know like what's gonna come out, what word is gonna come out. It's like, I believe I saw this interview of like John Mayer talking about like his process in songwriting, and he likes to when he's like coming up with a chord progression, I think he said something about how like it doesn't really go anywhere unless you're like singing and making up melodies and stuff while you're doing it. And he calls it like Ouija, like the Ouija board. Is that how you say like
a Ouija board?
Ouija. Yeah, he calls it like Ouija or something, where he's just kind of like searching for these words from just the ether. But that's kind of why I do it, where I just like I just want to see what words come out, and then because sometimes that word, it could be really random, but it sounds really good, and it's all about the vibe.
Was there a moment you realized that you were actually ready to produce this thing on your own?
Yeah, it was during those producer sessions where I realized I was kind of like, I can tell these guys kind of like the vision that I'm thinking of, but what I always end up getting is kind of like, it felt like I was like typing like an AI prompt, and and they kind of gave me like what they think I want, but it's never. That's when I realized that there's something that is intangible that is really hard to like share to other people and have them recreate what I want. So I was just like, I gotta like take charge on this one, I think.
But you're learning as you go because you've never done this before.
I did technically do that on my first album, like where I produced most of it.
Interesting.
But it was definitely like, it was nowhere near this level of production. It was real FL production, where it's just like only on FL, only using VSTs and plugins, stuff like that.
The production on Serpents is crazy.
Thank you.
Can you talk about making this song? Because when you put out that little sampler, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, thank you. It was I was at Camp Flogna in 2023, and I was watching Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem perform, and I was like, I'm having the best time ever right now. But I kept thinking, because when I watch other people's sets, I'm always just kind of like I'm always like taking notes, how to like, what cool things do I like about this that I want to implement on my own set? And I just remember thinking, every time there's like quiet moments where they just finished a song or whatever, I'm always like thinking, what would be the craziest thing to hear come on right now? And what kind of beat, what kind of drum pattern? And then there's this one drum pattern that like popped up in my head, and I was like, okay, that's a cool idea. But like the next couple days, I could not stop thinking about that drum pattern. And then one night, I just did it, and I was like, I love this. This sounds very chaotic, and I was really angry at the time about a person, and I just poured my heart out, poured my anger out on that beat. It's a very angry sounding beat.
You mentioned Camp Flogna.
Yeah.
Tyler, the Creator, huge inspiration for you, right?
For sure. Yeah, he's been a big inspiration for me on many levels, I think, like as an artist, but also just even on I don't know, even just on like following my dreams. Like when I was a kid, I saw this video of him in high school. He was like in maybe junior high school or something, and he was just like acting like a kid. He was just acting like a regular kid, and seeing that video blew my mind, because I was just like, oh wow, that's when I realized like even the greatest artists and like the most successful people are, they were once normal, and that made me feel like it was possible. And I started writing down like New Year's resolutions, like one day I want to go to America and stuff like that.
At what point do you actually start writing raps and like writing music?
I was like 14, I think. It was I remember it was this Rick Ross beat I found on YouTube, and I was writing it on my like Windows notepad thing, and it was really hard to find one rhyme. Just to figure out one rhyme, it was like, damn, people do this. But I just loved rap so much at that time. It was like really my main genre of music I was listening to, and it really helped me with my English as well, because when you're memorizing rap songs, you're just forced to like have good pronunciation, because you got to say things real fast. And yeah, so I was just doing that for fun, really, putting it out on SoundCloud, posting it for my Twitter followers, and yeah, I struck gold in 2016. and that's when it all started.
And
Do you
that,
remember, I was
yeah.
gonna say, do you remember when you started thinking in English?
Yeah, it was I was in a car one time. I was in the back of my dad's car, and I was thinking about something, and it was in English because I had just been watching so many YouTube videos of people vlogging, and the way I was thinking in my head was like the way a vlogger would talk to the camera, and I was like, this is cool. I feel less lonely now because I was homeschooled and I was just like had a lot of alone time, so I would talk to myself in English to practice the pronunciation, and it would help a lot. But yeah, it's interesting. It's like recently I came back to Indonesia for like 3 weeks, and by the second week, this is my first time experiencing this in a long time. I started thinking in Indonesian again.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I think it's because I did this live stream while I was out there, and I was thinking about that live stream a lot because I was in that live stream for like, it was one of those like marathon live streams where they had been going for like 24 hours for a long time, and I was in there having a ball. I was there for like 5 hours, so I was like really talking in Indonesian, and because I was also just like trying to be on. I was like trying to make jokes and stuff, so I'm always just like thinking of like what jokes to say. And I think that was why it really changed.
How would you explain to a producer that you want to make a 6.5 minute epic record?
Time zones?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't.
which is it's a beautiful love letter to your childhood.
Thank you.
And I don't want to disrupt the process. I'm sure it needed to be 6.5 minutes, correct?
Yeah, it did. It took me like 7 days to write that song. It was like because it started with with me kind of like mumbling the lyrics. The first thing I said was like, no, in the back of Mama's cafe. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't even know. I just knew that the beat sounded like it was some storytelling shit. And I wanted to like talk about some sort of a story. I just didn't know what it was. And then I was like, okay, my mom's cafe. I still did not like, it's so fun to make those kind of songs because as I'm writing it, I don't even know where it's going to end up. I don't know what else I'm going to talk about. And there was a lot of, it was 6 minutes and a half. There was a lot of restructuring that had to happen because I had to be like, I had to cut a lot of the fat, you know what I mean? There's like a lot of like little details. And then I'm like, okay, I want to say this, but then I'm like, no, I'll just save that for later. I'll say this first. And then, so there was a lot of like kind of time jumps in this story. But at the end, I kind of tie it all together. But yeah, it's one of those things where I wouldn't have been able to make that with a producer because even the chord progression of that song was like, there was not really like a pattern or like an arrangement where it was like there's 2 or 3 different chord progressions where it like the first 2 chords are the same, but then it ends differently. And the way I arranged it was like I was arranging it as I was writing it, and I would just put in whichever chord feels like it fits the lyrics I was saying in that moment. So that's why the whole song kind of feels like a roller coaster. And yeah, love that song, man.
At what point in the 7 days that you're working on this thing do you even realize the story you're telling?
I think maybe like the 4th day or something, because I was still like, okay, cool, this is a cool story so far, but like, what's the point of all this, And then and then I'm realizing that like, okay, there's Pete, my childhood friend, and then there's Whitney, the online ex-girlfriend, and then I was like, okay, it's gonna be about how those people really affected me and like made me do things that are like pretty, like canon events in my life, like made me have my first kiss and stuff, and I had never met them at that time. So I was like, okay, that's a good way to kind of like, put the theme around. But yeah, it was, I remember showing that to my manager, and he was like, yeah, this shit's too long, dude. And I was like, I know, but it literally can't be any other way. he was like, what if you like break it up a little bit and like try to put a hook in it? I was like, no, I can't do that. This is not a hook song. This is a song for people to, you know, get lost in. I want them to just listen to it and just stare out the window and just, you know, feel like they're watching a movie or something.
That
Yeah.
preserve the record.
Yeah.
So if on Amen you were most focused on flow and sonics, and then on the Sailor you were really focused on the message, where are we at today?
I would say this album is a combination of both. Is a perfect balance of Amen and Sailor in a way where it's like, yeah, it's like the qualities, you know, I feel like it has the quality of the Sailor, hopefully, while just like the strong identity of Amen. Because I feel like I've gotten a lot of, you know, compliments from people of just like, dude, I love Amen. They would be like, the cool thing about Amen, and some people like Amen more than the Sailor, which, you know, surprised me. But it was because they felt like they could tell, you know, that identity was really there. And it was weird because you can't even, at least on Spotify, you can't even see who produced what song. But it was me that produced all of it. It was just like, we didn't input it. But people could just tell from like the way the drums sound or like whatever. So yeah, I wanted to do that for this. I think lyrically, yeah, so I would say I was focused on a perfect combination of both. And I think the thing that I really wanted to make a point of is just like, just be as honest as possible, you know, and not try to be like a perfect person, because that's boring. Because I feel like, you know, in my previous works, I would just try to kind of, you know, when you're a rapper, especially, like, it's a braggadocious, you know, there's a lot of braggadocious stuff, a lot of topics where you're just kind of bigging up yourself and you're kind of making yourself this really the coolest person on planet Earth. And that's cool. I still love to do that because that's it. It makes me feel good to talk about it. But at the same time, it's like, if you're too perfect, then you're not. There's nothing relatable about it.
Oh, totally.
You know, so yeah.
Imperfection in reality is perfect.
Exactly.
When you think about rappers, you think about the cars and the clothes. Like, are you into any of that?
I'm not into cars. My brother is into cars. I'm into airsoft guns.
What?
Because
what? I haven't played with an airsoft gun since middle school. Like,
sorry.
What are you shooting?
Is because I don't even like shooting them. I just like to have them around the house and just kind of like, I play with them. I tinker with them.
Okay.
I hold them.
Interesting.
It's like a fidget toy for me. Because okay,
but not. It's a weapon.
It's a weapon. But I like how they look, and I like how it's because me and my brother used to make short films, like short action films, back in the day, and you know, we would have those guns as props. And I've been a bit of a collector
of airsoft guns.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't drive yet either, and like, yeah, growing up,
That
yeah,
explains the car thing.
yeah.
And just for clarity, like the resale value on airsoft guns is probably not great. So
yeah, it's not
really for you.
It's for me. It's not an investment in any way. It's not like Pokemon cards or anything.
Yeah, because those are the real investments.
Yeah.
Because in these tough, turbulent times, where's the safest place to put your money?
Yeah, Pokemon cards.
No, into a first edition Charizard. What is it? Yeah.
Charizard.
Charmander?
Charizard.
Charizard.
Yeah.
So why don't you
Charmander's a
drive?
baby.
Was that?
Why don't you drive?
I just haven't had enough time.
You had 6 years.
It sounds like such an excuse. Like what? What?
Yeah.
Also, how do you get around?
I Uber. So expensive. But I learned how to drive when I was 15 in Indonesia. I took a driving lesson with my sister, and she got a lot more fluent in driving, like, right away. And it took me a while because I was just kind of still scared. And then by the time that I was, you know, because all my friends were just like picking up their girlfriends and stuff in the car, and I was like, I'm sick of not being that guy that can do that too. And I finally got over the fear. And as soon as I started to get over the fear, I had to move here, and they just kind of stopped the whole momentum. But next year, hopefully, I'll drive.
Just want to make it clear. driving in LA is way scary. Well, do you think it's scarier driving here than in Indonesia?
I think so. Because in Indonesia, there are not really rules like that. Like it's all crazy. But the worst that could happen is like, you like bump into somebody. But like in here,
You're not going very fast.
you're not going very fast. Not as fast as here.
Yeah.
People here go crazy.
No, you cruise.
Yeah. I saw like a car flipped over on the highway a couple days ago.
I saw one the other day too. I was like, how's that even happen?
Always happening.
Just upside down.
Yeah.
I don't stop talking about it. Knock on wood for some good energy.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of good energy, can you talk about this conversation you had with Andre 3000?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was also in Camp Flogna. That was this last Camp Flogna. I had not ran into it was Tyler and Andre. And I didn't even last time I saw Tyler was like 2019. I didn't think he was gonna remember me. But he was the one that said what up, and I was like, oh shit. And all of a sudden I'm in this like triple conversation, just me, Tyler, and Andre. And Tyler was like, how you been? How you doing? And I was like, dude, I'm good. I'm about to put out an album for the first time in like 6 years. And he was like, oh shit, are you nervous? And I was like, no, I'm actually like just really excited. I can't wait. And he's like, that's great. That's what I like to hear. And then Andre 3000 was, like while this is happening, I'm just like really starstruck by both of them. And I'm just like trying to play it very, very cool. And Andre's being like, yeah, man, it's really cool, not putting out something for a while and then putting something out. It feels like it can feel like you're an artist that's like coming out the gate fresh again because, we usually don't get the chance to be new again. And I was like, that's so cool. And there was more stuff being said, I'm sure, but I'm forgetting. And I shook Andre's hand and I was like, he was like, what's your name? And I was like, I'm Rich Brian. Nice to meet you. And so we're friends now, I think. But I during that whole time is like, when you're talking to those greats, I always have like this like timer, this like internal timer in my mind of just like, okay, in about 15 seconds, you got to get the fuck out of here because I don't want to linger. So that's what I did. But yeah, it was, coming out of that, I kept thinking back about it, about the fact that just happened. And I keep having to kind of like remind myself that it wasn't a dream. Because I do dream about it sometimes of like running into my idols and having really cool interactions like that.
Deep manifestation, man.
Yeah.
How do you balance like that energy of like having internal clock when talking to your heroes, etc., with also then collaborating with your heroes? Because like the first time you ever wrote a song in front of somebody was in front of Pharrell Williams.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was it was like this where I did his podcast, or not podcast, but his show on with Scott Venner, and where they were interviewing me, and that show after we shot that, he was like, you want to get in the studio? And I was like, yeah. And it was literally the next morning, and it was like, first time I had to write in front of somebody, first time I had to not use rhymezone.com. And it was terrifying, man. But how do I balance that? It's tough. It's a tough thing. I think nowadays, with how much more confident I feel about my own skills and with the production and just making music in general, because I've been just a lot more intentional with how I make music. It gives me like just like an overall boosted confidence when I'm talking to other artists. So it is better these days. But it's always weird because I'm always just like, I don't want to make things weird. I just want to hang out. I want us to vibe first. Like me and Thundercat, we've known each other for a long time. I ran into him last night, and we keep running into each other. And I want to work with him so bad. And even he has been like, yo, let's work together. But even after like him saying that many times, like, yo, let's work together, I'm always like, yeah, I'm gonna I'm just gonna give you your space. I don't want to like be pushy about this. So yeah, I'm a bit of a like I can be a bit of a like a people pleaser when it comes to that kind of stuff because I just really don't want to be, overwhelming.
People pleaser in a lot of areas, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Is there any part of you that's surprised that you're a rapper?
Yeah, it's weird. It's random because it's like, why me? Like why I didn't have like a insanely like I didn't really struggle that much, growing up. Because sometimes I'm just like, what am I gonna talk about in my rap music? But then there's a lot to talk about. I think I do have a very unique upbringing, and I think even if you don't, I feel like every person is so unique. There's always something that you can pull out as material out of your experiences, and it's all about just like how you tell that story in an interesting way. But yeah, it's weird. People always tell me, they don't by talking to me, they don't expect that I'm like a rapper. And when they see me on stage and like see me in music videos and stuff, it's like they're seeing a different person, kind of.
I just think it's your vessel and your method of telling your story.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, 100%.
You clearly have a story that needs to be told. Could have been movies, could have been TV, could have
Right.
been like digital stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. Music ended up becoming the vessel.
yeah, and rap music specifically.
Early on in this journey, a lot of people were like asking if you felt a sense of responsibility with regards to being an Asian person in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Representation has like specifically grown in the West in the last like 10 years across genres and entertainment in a big way.
Yeah.
Just curious, like, what is your perspective as it relates to hip hop? Does it feel like you're less of an outlier today than it did all those years ago?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, maybe because, like what you said, representation has grown.
Still a lot more work to be done.
Still a lot more work to be done, but I think I'm just recognizing, the more like when I go out and stuff like that, and I go to events or get-togethers where there's like other artists or like other musicians, people in my field, and I would get a lot of, people coming up to me and just kind of like really giving me like, flowers on just like, they were like, dude, your visuals and your music videos are always like so on point, and like I really appreciate your production and stuff like that. And it's stuff that I really didn't think people would notice, but it makes me feel like, okay, I must be doing something right, because I feel like my goal in hip hop has always been, from when I started to this day, is always like, how do I bring something new to the table, something that other people can't offer except for me. And I do that for many reasons. I think one of the ways it is to stand out, but it's also because I just love the genre and I love the music so much, and I'm always just like, trying to do everything in my power to just like add something new to it and inspire other people that are in this space as well. So with those experiences and with those people kind of like giving me that validation, I feel like I don't feel as much of an outlier nowadays.
What part of this process fulfills you the most? Is it the visuals? Because like you do incredible music videos.
Thank you. What part of it? Okay, I think these days it's like really the production, like the production of the music, but it's everything. It is everything. It is the visuals is a big component for me, because especially in a day and age where TikTok marketing is like a big thing, and it's more effective, for marketing, for people to do a bunch of different content of the same song, of the same snippet, and like having subtitles on the thing and like post it on TikTok. I feel like I really had to push for, like I really want just like a selection of like really good looking visuals for this album, especially because I hadn't came out with an album in so long. Because I want to I want to properly market this music. I want to use the budget in the best way possible to market it and do what works today. But also at the end of the day, it's like you need the art. You know, you need to have something to like for people to look at, because this is like, yeah, the visual is such a big part.
How do you define success today?
Yeah, it's a very good question, because I feel like that has changed for me throughout the years. Because back in the day, I feel like when everything was kind of still in the up and up, and it was just like, it felt like I was just kind of like juggling a lot of things and just kind of like trying my best to not have these balls fall on the ground. I'm just kind of like doing things to keep it up and just see how much further I can go with this. When I feel like when you're functioning like that, it could be hard. It could be easy to lose track of, you know, why you love doing it in the first place, and because you're just kind of like thinking about what's gonna work commercially the best, and you start making stuff that's like formulaic and stuff like that. So at the time, I feel like pre-pandemic, my goal, or what I consider success, used to be like, you know, quantity of like, you know, the amount of people that know me and like the amount of how big the shows are, and just like how big of an artist can I really be. Like I was trying to be like the Indonesian Drake, you know, at the time. Like I was down to be that big, but now I'm like, that's really cool to have. And it would be great if my career leads me there. But I think what's more important is just like being as in control of like the art as possible, and just like being as connected to the fans as possible, and just having like a more meaningful and deep connection to the fans. And it's like a cult following, rather than trying so hard to be like as big of an artist as possible, I guess.
Quality over quantity, but by doing that, everything falls into place
Exactly.
for the quantity to kind of take over.
Exactly. So that's what I am just trying to do now. I'm just like quality over everything. Yeah.
Dude, you're 25. Life is a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly, dude.
Also, in between The Sailor and Where's My Head, you and Baby No Money do release a massive song with Edamame.
Yeah.
Did you have any expectations when you guys made that?
I just heard the song when they sent it to me, and I was like, it was catchy, like immediately. And I didn't think it was gonna get that big, but I was like, you know, you never know when you make a song, but you sometimes have a feeling. You're like, I feel like people would like this. And it was one of those songs where I had that feeling. But it was nuts. It was, that was the first time we had been talking for a while online, but we didn't meet up until we made that song. And yeah, it was just one of those things that happened very organically. Yeah. Love Baby No Money.
Timeless record.
You think so?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows that. Yes, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's still one of those songs you hear today and like it still feels brand new.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's really cool. Yeah, it is really cool to have a song like that gets that big, because I am curious of what's gonna happen to that song in like, 20 years from now. Like I wonder how historically people are gonna look back to that song, if it becomes like, the classic song that gets used in movies whenever there's like a party scene. Or like how now people play a certain what is it? Careless Whisper or something like that whenever there's like a sexual scene in a movie, or whatever. So I wonder where that song's gonna lie.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Culture will do its thing.
Yeah.
Do you think you could still master a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah.
Will you try?
Of course. You got one for me?
Got one for you.
How lame is this? We have one.
That's sick.
No, it's not. You're lying. It's okay.
No,
Do you hate this?
No, I don't.
When's the last time you did this?
Actually not long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this like a party trick?
Should we set a timer?
Kind of.
You
you can.
You carry one around with you?
I don't. It's too bulky to carry. I would though.
Okay, so
right.
what was the last time you did it? How fast did you do it?
Man, I don't want to I don't want to
to.
hype up any expectations, but it was, I believe, 18 seconds.
What?
Damn.
I think. Yeah.
Wait, so what?
Yeah.
At what point into your life do you start taking that seriously?
When I was 12. When I was 11. that's how I got into like, okay, so I used to go to Rubik's Cube competitions when I was like 10, right? And I was taking it real seriously as a hobby, and I was like going to competitions. I won first place in one of them against all these like high schoolers. And one day there was this one competition where I had to go to a mall, to this toy store, to have them time my average of five solves. And if it's like under a certain amount of time, then I get to join this bigger competition in another mall. And then, so I passed, and then I got to the competition. And in that one, if you enter the top 3 winners, they give you a flight to Bangkok to go to this like international competition.
Whoa.
Yeah. So in that competition that I did in the mall, I went with my whole family, and it was like this big day.
As you do.
Exactly.
This is huge.
It's huge, right? And I won 4th place.
Oh.
So right
I'm
on
so
it.
sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, I was like waiting. Oh,
I was waiting for like first place.
Yeah. So it was
Your
quiet.
family took a whole day off for that.
Yeah, dude. Quiet car ride home. Yeah. And I was thinking, I was like, what am I doing with my life? I was like, I'm not making any money from this. Where is this gonna go if I get older?
You mentioned that at the end of Jumpy.
Yeah,
There's something
that's
there
right.
about the
I
Rubik's Cube.
I did
He
say
said
that.
something just like that.
I did say that, yeah. And I was, and then I found cinematography.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really different.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
Wait,
I
so-
could do this.
But like, what is like, okay, when you're doing this, like, what is the dream life of somebody who solves a Rubik's Cube quickly? Like, what do you get sponsors to sponsor your cube?
Sex.
Like,
Unlimited sex. Yeah.
endless sex.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, really, what is, yeah,
But, like,
because
what's the end goal?
I know, right?
And also, why'd the Rubik, why'd you want to master this?
It was, I think it was just like, I remember seeing this one video, and this person was just like solving all of his different Rubik's Cubes, and it just looked like he was having such a good time doing it. Every cube felt like he was handling it with love, and I was like, I want that in my life,
To be handled like that or to handle something?
to handle something like that, to have something like that. And I thought, the only place I could get it was Rubik's Cubes.
Start with the cube.
Yeah, and then that was also part of the learning English too, just like watching tutorials. Yeah.
YouTube and Judd Apatow movies for you.
Yeah. Shout out to Judd Apatow.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the special guest star.
Is the
Yeah.
microphone in the way, or is that good position?
Oh no, it's a good position. I was
Okay.
just, yeah.
Should I count you down?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
So good.
Okay. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god. Okay. How long is that?
Whoa.
28 seconds.
Nice.
That's not bad.
It's not. It's still under a minute.
Dude,
yeah.
I
It's
haven't
under
done
30 seconds.
I haven't done one in 32 years.
But you know how to solve it?
No.
No.
How do you solve it? And what are you doing? Like with your hand? The whole thing is very
Yeah.
confusing.
It's
It's
you
like
can
math
get.
or something?
It's not math. I'm not good at math. It's
Wait, so what are you doing?
It is algorithms though. It's like, so this is how you first. So if you like scramble it, the first part of the process is you have to make a cross. For example, I'll do a white. A cross meaning like this. Where, yeah, just like a white cross. But you also have to align these colors to the center. So it's like orange, orange, blue, blue, red, red, all that stuff. And then you put it down and then you fill it the corners. And but my
Interesting.
method, the way I'm doing it, I'm doing like kind of multitasking to where I'm not just filling in the corners, I'm also filling in like the second layer at the same time. So it's like this, for example. this one. So I'm already getting this corner, but I'm also getting that layer. And so you do that with all 4 of them. And you now get this whole thing and then the whole second layer done. And now you make a cross on the top. So there's certain algorithms that you memorize. So this we call this like the L. So if you get this, then if you face it this way and then you do this algorithm, and it's like a FR, it's like a thing that you memorize, but at this point it's like muscle memory. So that, and then it turns into a cross.
Interesting.
And then with this, there's also like another thing where, okay, yeah, this is like the fish. You call this the fish. Once you get this, you're good. You once you do that one algorithm, you got the whole thing. And now it's this layer is what you got to do. So you got to look at these 2 corners. You got to find matching ones. So these 2 are matching, blue. Put that on the left, and then you do the magic algorithm, and then now they're all matching, but the edges, we call this the edge, the middle. You got to flip those around, and there's another crazy algorithm that you got to memorize, which is, yeah.
So, okay.
That makes it even more impressive because I have no idea what just happened.
No,
Right.
That's incredible.
So this is a skill that you can translate to what else in life?
Nothing. I don't think. Yeah, I guess just like memorization.
But your brain is going pretty fast. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing I can't do. Like
Right.
the act of like using my brain while using my hands,
Right.
and then like also like that's
Yeah.
no. And even like I don't even think I have the finger strength to move that shit that fast.
Right, I know.
Wow,
I have
that was
a lot
pretty
of,
impressive.
I have a lot of finger strength.
That was. I was really good. Do we clap for that or like I don't like?
Let's clap.
That was
Let's
great.
clap.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Where's my head at? Is waiting for you. That's the brand new album.
There's
It's
no ad. I think it's just where's my head.
Where's my head? Where's
Yeah,
my
where's
head?
my
Where's my head? I was asking. I do want to know, like, by making this album, do you end up finding out where your head is?
I'm on the way there. Yeah, I think.
Search continues.
Yeah, I think it's the most. I think like compared to any other time in my life, it's the most. I feel like I know myself the best because I do get it from a lot of people who have heard this record and have worked with me on this process, and people who have worked with me in the past and then they work with me now. I get a lot of like you're a lot more like you really know what you want, and it's like you're a lot more just clear on your vision, and it's really cool to see. And yeah, and I do feel that way. So like getting other people actually saying that just validates it.
There's many cool things about music, but one of the cool things is that you really do get the opportunity to track a human being's growth and evolution.
Yes.
And you're like a prime example of that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, this album is superb.
Thank you.
It's really spectacular.
Thank you.
Very different than anything you've ever put out before. In my
Thank you so
opinion.
much. Thank you so much.
But they're in the right ways.
Is there we haven't heard the whole album, but is there a song on this album that you are like most proud of when it comes to the production you made yourself?
Yeah.
Which one?
You probably heard this one. It's called Butterfly.
Oh,
Yep.
so good.
Thank you.
So good.
Yeah. That was very like Human Nature by Michael Jackson inspired sonically. And what else? I also really like Time Zones. I don't know if did you guys hear it?
We haven't heard Time
Okay.
Zone. We heard Butterfly.
Okay, yeah. So Time Zone, like production wise, it's pretty great. I spent a lot of time on that production as well. Like after the lyrics have already been written, I just like kept adding stuff. Just kept adding more and more layers, more
Because
moments.
you can or because it needed it?
I felt like it needed it. It needed some more texture because it's like such a long song. I don't want it to be like boring. And there's also like so many layers of the story that like, for example, I'm like talking about my brother. Like certain characters, low-key have like certain thematic melodies that come on whenever I bring them up, as like a subconscious thing that you notice. It's like with my brother, my brother's like a chaotic person, and there's always this like very chaotic bass that comes in whenever I bring him up. And whenever I'm talking about a girl, there's like this very sweet like piano melody that happens, and yeah, just stuff like that. Yeah. What else? What else am I proud of? I'm really proud of this song "Oh Well." That was also, another like I'm proud of just like the songwriting and the chords that I picked for that, because it's a very, every time I play the song for people, they're always like, immediately they're always like, I love this song. Like it's one of the more immediate ones that where I get that reaction. And yeah, I was surprised that I wrote that whole thing myself, because it was just like it's a very like pop song. It's like one of my more like poppy songs, but in a good way.
There's a bunch of different genres on this
Yeah.
album. Alt pop, psych, grunge, rap.
Yeah, well, I
Mix.
never know what to. I'm not good with genre names, so like if I'm
Just
listening,
feel. Art shouldn't be put in a box.
I know. So
I just did that.
no, you're good. Yeah,
In 2018, you said that if everything goes well in 5 years, you'd be in Spider-Man.
I said that.
You did.
What?
It's okay though. We're still on our way. Again, life is a marathon. Well, you said you do with Donald Glover, but life is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah,
Remember this. And there's more Spider-Man to come. There's many universes, from my understanding.
that's true.
It's a multiverse situation.
That's
here.
true. That's true.
They have movies for days,
Yeah,
years,
yeah. There's gonna be an Asian one of these days, and I'll be that.
and you'll be waiting.
I'll be waiting.
I mean, you got a bunch of songs in Shang-Chi.
I do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun experience. Seeing my song just on the screen like that in the intro, that was great.
Do they give you prompts for that? Like they show you the movie, they just say, do what you think is right.
No, they literally just they would tell us like, yo, we have this bus fight scene. They tell us that, and I'm like, oh, cool. I don't know what this movie looks like, and it's a superhero. Of course, there's a fight scene, and so we would just make what we think fits that scene.
Would eventually you get to see the scene, or would you only see it when it's finally done?
They showed us like maybe one scene,
Oh.
yeah, and it's like the very like rough version, but yeah, it was very Marvel. They're real strict with it, but it was great though. It ended up really fitting. Like the whole thing made sense, and it fit the film. So we didn't need to see it. I think we just used our imaginations.
You felt it.
Yeah.
Feeling is all you need. Remember that, Dan. Feeling is all you need. Where's my head?
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for it. But you can listen to the album. It's waiting for you
Yes.
on Amazon Music. Link below.
Yeah.
And we covered a lot.
You good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. This was
Thank
a great
you.
conversation.
It was a great conversation.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
As you have music come out, we're always here.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you guys do like same artist multiple times.
Oh,
Let's
if
do
we're
it.
so lucky.
We've had Nikki in a couple times, I think.
Sick.
Yeah.
Huh?
Let's do it.
We've had some people in double digits.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Let's do it like one of those like that Billie Eilish variety thing where she does it every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the transition.
Yeah. You just see me get older and older. Yeah.
Then it's us. Like I'm on my way out. Like, when's your birthday?
September 3rd.
Interesting.
Yeah, why?
No, just trying to understand your sign. You share a sign with my dad. People pleaser.
I share the sign with your dad?
Yeah.
Is
People
he-
pleasing is correct.
Yeah.
It's okay though.
I took this thing on there's this app called Dimensions, and it's like this very thorough quiz. There's a bunch of different quizzes to like figure out what kind of personality you are, and in one of them it says that one of my biggest fears is to be the bearer of bad news.
It's
Such a specific niche thing, but so true.
hard,
It's hard. Yeah.
but bad news is vital because you
It's
can't
vital.
really grow without it.
Yeah. And breaking up with someone, that's the worst news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? We wouldn't have gotten this body of work
Thank you. Yeah,
if you didn't stick through it
exactly.
for 2 extra years.
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
eventually pull the plug.
Yeah. I hope she's happy. So wherever she is, I hope she's doing good.
You have a good heart, great brain.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Rich Brian.
Thank you.
Listen to music. Link below. Rich Brian, everybody.